Good evening, folks. Thanks once again for inviting us into your home. And today, as you can see, by my hockey pals over here, we're going to talk about hockey. We're going to talk about the hockey playoffs. And Bob, you're going to introduce yourself.
Bob Galazzo in Windsor E.
Paul Pepin, Camden J.
Okay, before we get started, Paul's just going to give you the setup for the playoffs. And we know you know the football, the baseball, probably basketball. Just a reminder, Paul, that's how it's going to be set up.
Yeah. Well, there's two conferences. There's the Western Conference and I think the Eastern Conference.
Right.
And then you have different division. In the Pacific, you've got in the West, you have the Pacific Division and you have the Central Division. And also in the East Division, you have the Atlantic Division and Metropolitan Division. So in each division, the three first teams, would be the Pacific and the Central. The first 6 teams make the playoffs, and then you have 2 wild cards.
Okay.
And the other division, Eastern Division, same thing. You have the Atlantic Division and the Metropolitan Division. The first 6 teams make the playoffs, and plus 2 wild cards.
You folks out there watching this are probably saying, wow, did things change from the 50s when we had 6 teams in all of hockey, and 4 of them made the playoffs.
Right.
The Rangers were the one that kind of always didn't make it. But Bob, why don't you tell us who you think is going to make the playoffs?
Well, I think in the Eastern Conference, there's a very strong division. The Metropolitan Division, they got Washington, Pittsburgh, Columbus, and the Rangers, which have got more points than Montreal, which is in first place in the Atlantic one. Montreal has 86 points, and the Rangers, if I'm right, they got 92 points. And if Montreal would be 5th, but right now the way it's set up, it's 3 teams per division. So the Atlantic one, they got Montreal, Ottawa, and Boston right now that would make it with the Islanders knocking on the door. And you got Tampa Bay knocking on the door too.
Absolutely.
So there was 2 teams that could make the wild card.
I would imagine that the NHL is rooting for Tampa Bay as opposed to the Islanders. The Islanders, in case you don't know about it, folks, we talked about it before. They are playing in the smallest arena of all, about 15,000 and change, and to make that more complex, about 1,400 seats are obstructed view. So financially, everyone's going for Florida. And of course, these guys are going for Florida because they're snowbirds.
Yeah, right.
But okay, Paul, give us what you think.
Yeah, well, in the Western Conference, I think Chicago, Minnesota, and you have also San Jose, which are, I think, the top teams. And then you've got Nashville, Anaheim, and Calgary. But you have Calgary and Edmonton that are fighting to see who's going to get in. One will drop their wild card, and the other one will be an automatic in for the playoffs.
Well, you guys must have 1 or 2 differences. So
yeah. Well,
go ahead. Hold it. I'm going to drop the puck, and I want you guys to go at it.
No,
Okay.
Well, what Paul just said is right too. Edmonton and Calgary are head-to-head right now, but Calgary has won their last 10 games, and they're very hot right now. Edmonton are slumping, so I think Calgary might be in the top 3. And in the East, I forgot to mention Toronto before, but Toronto with their young team right now, they got 3 rookies that are playing fantastic, and they got Austin Matthews from the States. He's incredible. He's already in the top 3 goal scorers in the whole league.
When was the last time Toronto was?
They won the cup the last time in 1967. So
wow, that's
I say they would be due.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's funny. You know, Toronto. It seems to me, in all sports, they have pretty good teams.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're U.S. Another state in the United States.
Yeah.
And I got one question.
But they're rebuilding. Right?
Yeah, well,
their defense is not quite there yet.
No.
1967, your Red Sox were in the World Series.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're shocking.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But good guys. Who's going to win and why?
Well, I think in the Western, I think Chicago Blackhawks I think they're still the top team. They've got the best nucleus that's still intact there, and they're complementing themselves. If you saw them play against Montreal the other night, they took an early they took a 3-0 lead.
Right.
It's pretty hard to come back from that, even if Montreal scored 2 quick goals, but that was almost at the end of the game.
Right.
And that was in Montreal.
That's right.
At
And
least it set it up
yeah.
for the
And they got
pulling the goalie.
as
right?
you can see, I've got the hat on. I'm a Montreal fan, but they don't have the team to go too far. Probably the first round, if they're lucky, because they probably play the New York Rangers as it sits now.
It's just now.
If they finish first.
Yeah.
And that's no gimme right there. Because
Wasn't it a couple of years ago they were one of the powerhouses, Montreal?
in the 70s?
No.
No, a couple of years ago,
No.
weren't they?
No.
No, it was Chicago most of the time.
Yeah. No,
Chicago, Boston.
yeah.
Were
Montreal hasn't had a powerhouse since they lost Lafleur, Lemaire, and a big team.
So you're going back
know.
to when I was a
Yeah.
fan.
They went down after they lost the playoffs to Edmonton. The year before they had won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
They went down from there.
Are all games in Montreal sold out?
Oh yeah.
Also there.
Yeah.
Also there.
Just like Toronto. Even if they didn't have the teams, they were sold out all the time.
Yeah.
And what's your
they're
average
sold out
hockey
years.
about? 18, 19,000?
The
21,
the Bell Center is 21.
21, close to 22.
Yeah.
Almost
And
like
it's sold out.
probably the Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah,
Well,
no, you guys are much more. I believe the Garden's just about 18 for
Yeah, but
hockey,
I thought
19 and
They
change.
just redid.
I thought they
the
hold
garden.
20 or something.
I don't think
No?
so.
With the boots upstairs now.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But no, it's amazing because I always look at as well as standing and reading the paper. I kind of look at see what percentage of a arena is sold out, and I would think that, and just nothing scientific about this, I would bet you that hockey sells out a higher percentage than basketball.
Oh, they do. Yeah. Oh, yeah. For
And-
sure.
Basketball does better on TV. Hockey, I guess, unless you're a real hockey fan, is hard to watch on TV.
It's hard to follow the small puck.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that cannot follow the small puck. They tried different things. They would try to put a light on the puck.
Remember the light, the
Yeah.
noise?
But that didn't work out either, so I don't know.
And you know, even
How
as,
they can fix that.
but as a fan, nothing beats at a hockey game.
Oh, to be there, no.
No,
Well, the big
no,
thing,
the
like in
action.
Montreal or Toronto, the biggest teams are the National Hockey League teams. And
Yeah.
they've been for eons, you know. And that's not going to change.
No.
Like, we don't have big football teams there. We don't have
No.
big baseball teams. Like, well, they have the Jays, but still, I think the Maple Leafs are even more.
More
I got a
popular
question.
than-
I got a question for both of you.
Yeah.
If they were to move Buffalo
Yeah.
into Toronto, football-wise,
NFL.
NFL,
They play a game a year now.
do you think that would kill the Canadian Football League?
I think it would, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Canadian Football League right now is, well, it's been hanging by a string for years. Mind you, out west it's pretty healthy, but back east there it's not that. The Alouettes sold out for years, and last couple of years they don't sell out no more. So
And the sad part,
Ottawa's having a hard time. The Argonauts are having a hard time. Hamilton is probably the only city right now that sells out in football. So.
Yeah. And like you said, the Western teams, they're,
Yeah.
they're hot on football.
Yeah, because
Canadian football.
well, that's all they got with
Yeah.
hockey. So.
Yeah.
well, I remember years ago when the NFL was small, they also, Canadian Football League, they were televised in New York, at least in New York anyway.
Yeah.
And I thought the announcers were pretty good, always telling you the differences of the fields. And they repeated 3 or 4 times a game. When I watch the Canadian Football League on television, they're not telling you nothing like that. They're not emphasizing the length of the
Yeah.
football field.
Yeah.
They're not
Because it's
emphasizing-
wider and long,
Yeah.
They're not
the end zones are
emphasizing the
longer.
width.
Yeah.
And you know, somehow, because a lot of times on TV, everything is with the scrolls along the screen.
Yeah, and they only have 3 downs instead of 4 downs,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of
It's a passing game.
passing game. Yeah.
Oh, I think it's you know something?
And
If the Canadian Football League players were bigger, it would serve as almost like a minor league
Yeah,
team
yeah,
for the NFL.
NFL. Well, it is a bit for quarterbacks because there's other QBs in the CFL that went in the NFL.
Give us a couple. I know there's Warren Moon who was there.
Joe Theismann, Warren Moon, Doug Flutie.
Yeah.
Geez,
Those are the big ones.
Yeah,
Big
yeah, yeah.
names.
Those are the three big names. There's more of them, but
Moon is probably the one that came from Canada to here.
No,
'cause
he played in
Theismann
the States
started
first.
in the NFL. Not Theismann, I'm sorry. Flutie.
yes.
I think
Then
he
he went
started
to
in the NFL.
well, he played for Boston College. I think he was
Yeah.
drafted, but then he went to the
Calgary.
CFL. Yeah.
Who caught that pass that he threw?
Oh, I don't remember
Oh,
that.
my
The Hail
God.
Mary
A
pass
guy,
there?
yeah,
Yeah,
a guy
yeah,
named
yeah.
Phil. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, to get back to our
Hockey.
hockey, my picks for the playoffs right now would be in the West. Chicago's got so much experience, and this year
Yeah.
they beat the second scoring team, Minnesota Wild. They beat them 3 times already.
Yeah.
So I think Chicago in the West would be my
It's
my
a team
pick
to beat.
right now.
Yeah.
And in the East, Washington has been building up. They just acquired a good defenseman from the St. Louis Blues, Shattenkirk. And I think that's all they were missing. They got one of the top goalies in the whole league with Obi. And between Washington and Pittsburgh, it's going to be a good fight. But I think those two would be the top.
It's just too bad that Pittsburgh has to play Columbus. The two
Yeah, they
good
got
teams,
and
you know.
Columbus.
And I
are
think
great, yeah.
one of the other teams
same
could be.
Division One. Not
Yeah, it could be one or the other could be a
Yeah.
runner-up
Yeah.
for the Eastern Conference
Right,
Final.
I've got a question to ask, and this is always brought up by my partner on the radio show,
Yeah.
Cammy. It seems that if you look at it, it is a fact. You have less teams playing under 500 in hockey than any of the other major sports.
Oh yeah, well, I didn't really pay attention.
Yeah,
to,
could be.
to that.
I've got-
I think
yeah,
the only
you
the
got,
reason for that, I think the reason for that is the fact that it's the only of the major sports where games end in a tie.
Well, they don't end in a tie no more.
Well,
Well, they end in a tie, they get a point each, but after that you got the 5-minute overtime 3-on-3, which is very exciting, and you got then you have a shootout. So there's always a team that will get 2 points instead of 1 point.
I thought you mentioned the 3-on-3. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, it's
good hockey.
fantastic.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I think Bateman's got a...
More skill.
And I'm
Huh?
not sure if the folks out there watched the NHL All-Star game, but it was really exciting. The plays were unbelievable. You would think it was a great show.
Well, listen, it
A
reminds
great,
me...
exciting show.
It reminds me when I grew up watching hockey, going to all the Ranger games, there was no better team to watch them play than the Flying Frenchmen,
Yeah.
the Canadians.
Well, yeah,
Could you
they're
imagine those guys playing with
Oh my God, yeah.
The,
Yeah. They even had a French line in Buffalo.
yes.
yeah.
Uh,
The French Connection,
Martin and
Robert.
yeah.
for folks, you guys who are watching the show now, oh my God, you should be watching the show on TV. No, it's been changed to 5 o'clock. But my man here has got his own version of a hat trick in hockey. Well, let's see if you can figure it out.
A hat trick in hockey.
Yeah, what do you got to do to get a hat?
Yeah.
Fans out there
3
don't know.
goals. 3 goals for me, but there's other ways to get it.
Oh, yeah.
A Gordial hat trick
Yeah.
is a goal, an assist, and a fight.
Oh, okay.
That's a good
That's
hat.
a Gordial hat trick.
Okay.
Was he the only great superstar that didn't need to have a hatchet man to take care of him?
Maurice Richard didn't need a hatchet.
No,
No.
no. And
Henry Richard didn't.
Henry.
Yeah. He was small, but he could take care of
No.
himself.
But I think, to me, I would say from the time I was watching, Gordie Howe was probably one of the strongest
oh
men
yeah, oh,
in
Yeah.
all sports.
Yeah.
Well, his neck was that big.
Yeah.
But I'll give you another name though. He played for the Boston Bruins. Cam Neely.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable fighter, unbelievable
Yeah.
scorer.
That's why his career ended
Yeah,
You
because
know,
he was
because
hurt
he was
all
playing
the
rough,
time,
too.
Yeah.
all the
Well,
time.
you know, you say playing rough. They're probably playing rough. I don't remember too many real dirty hockey players. I mean, there were
Yeah.
some.
Well, yeah, there were some.
There were some, but
John Ferguson was one.
Pat Quinn.
Pat Quinn
When he
was a
finished
dirty
Bobby
one,
Orr's
right,
career
yeah.
with a
Pat,
knee.
Pat Quinn was the one.
Yeah, he busted his knee.
Yeah.
I remember they used to,
Yeah.
each team had a henchman. I know the guy for us. Well, it started, in the beginning it was not John Hanna, Lou Fontanato. But
Oh,
he
yeah.
got, he got just
Lou
to be too
Fontanato,
good
yeah.
to be a goon, so they got John Hanna. And he was like the Ranger.
They had Eddie Shack and Toronto.
Oh, my
which-
God, yeah,
which was
Eddie
a
Shack.
comedian.
Eddie Shack, you know,
He put on a show every time he
Yeah.
got on that ice.
he used to get the puck in back of the net, go flying up there
And lose it.
and lose it. And we all used to yell out, "Raw meat, Eddie, raw meat!" And then one time we seen him go, he actually went right through the glass.
Yes, he did, yeah.
But you know, he was a great showman.
Oh, he
But
was
for-
great.
He played later on for Toronto.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was a pretty decent
Yeah.
hockey player.
And after that, he had a country and western show on TV.
Oh, did
The
he?
show was great, yeah. Yeah, he turned out to be a comedian.
He was, I remember, he was a
Yeah.
very popular guy with the schnoz of Jimmy Durante.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, he had, yeah.
For sure.
So, okay, guys, who is going to be the ultimate winner in the
I would say the Chicago Blackhawks one more time.
Well, it's going to be between Chicago and the Capitals.
Yeah.
The Capitals should make it this time.
Yeah,
they have no
to,
excuse now.
because their team is getting old.
Yeah, that's right.
Ovechkin is getting old.
It's their
I'll
window.
tell you, they got one of the best coaches in
Yeah,
hockey. If you look the last 10 years, Barry Trotz is unbelievable.
yeah.
A real good coach.
But I don't think they have any excuse not to go to.
No, they went and
to the
done
Stanley
it
Cup
with
final
good
anyways.
defensemen. They have one of the top goalies
Yeah.
in the league, and I can't see how they can lose.
For a lot of our folks out there who used to be hockey fans and not as much anymore, does today's hockey, is it not as good as any era that we've had before?
It's faster, and the players are bigger and faster.
Well,
It's really, really tough. But if you look at the rookies that are coming up right now, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, Patrick Laney in Winnipeg, these three kids are all over 30 goals right now. I know McDavid hasn't got 30 goals, but he leads the league in assists. These kids are 18 and 19 years old, and the league has never been in such good shape with rookies, with young.
but the thing,
Players
but the
right
thing is, for the speed, they took away the red line. You can do the two-line pass, which
Yeah,
wasn't allowed before.
Yeah.
That slowed down the game, and even Bobby Orr says probably they should slow it down a little bit more and have less concussion because these guys are flying,
They're flying.
and a lot of plays are made. The puck is thrown around. Nothing happens a lot of times.
Because the players are so fast now that
Yeah, but you have a lot of mediocre players too that don't know what they can't keep a play.
well, they got 30 teams.
Yeah, I
even
know,
if it
there's a lot of
went,
teams, that's for sure.
International.
How bad is the concussion situation? Is it as bad in hockey as it is in football?
No, not as bad. No,
I don't think so.
no. Not even close. No. But there's quite a few of it.
Yeah,
But
more than there was.
yeah,
How
well,
many
yeah,
concussions
so
from the
fast.
are received because of the right hand
Yeah.
to the head?
Well,
Yeah.
you know, those were taken care of in the when you had the say in the 70s or the even 80s, whatever. Dirty hits didn't go unpunished. They do today. The referee takes care of it, but
Yeah.
then it was the players that took care of it.
Do they still?
There was a little bit more
But I'll
respect.
tell you, before they put that mask on, you would never see your eyes stick.
No,
Never.
I agree.
Never see your eyes
No.
stick.
Yeah, you didn't
Now
see it
with
like
the
it
mask,
used to
the
be.
sticks are up
well
all the bloody
they
time.
do it from
Yeah.
triple midget
Yeah.
up to junior.
Yeah.
That's the way they play.
Yeah. Because when I grew up, nobody wore a mask or a
No.
helmet, and you didn't see no hits to the head. You didn't see none.
I remember when John
Nobody
Flan-
got concussions then.
No.
Unless it was an accident.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you put more equipment in the game,
Yeah.
we have a time that, let's face it, even as rough as the guys were, they didn't really want to hurt the guy,
No.
his career.
No.
So when you were wearing a helmet, now I could take the stick up a little higher and do it.
Yeah.
But I always thought hockey was a great game, and I think
Oh.
the people who complain about fighting in hockey, quite frankly,
part of it.
I'm not hockey fans.
Yeah.
You're not-
It's
We're
part of
just
it.
not hockey
You
fans.
can't stop it.
But I like it better now because less clutch and grab.
Okay, I can see by the mean man over there.
1 minute.
Holding up the one. By the way, the
Okay.
mean man is
Okay.
He's saying, guys, get off the air. So,
Yeah,
guys, go ahead. Take a night, Paul.
So, okay, thank you very much for inviting us.
Yeah.
And we thank you.
And it was a
Well,
pleasure.
We hope we could be part of your life for half an hour.
Folks,
whatever it
as you guys know, I try to keep teams, and it makes it better. This is their second year on, and I think the concept we started last year, guys with teams is good. But anyway, folks, enough of me. In the meanwhile, take 2 and hit the right. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
You guys just gotta get some paper for you.